Hi, everyone, and welcome to another Builder Spotlight. Today we have got DZap and we've got Rajat, who is the CMO. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hello. Thank you for inviting us and glad to be here and a part of Rootstock community.
Absolutely. And I appreciate you coming to tell your story.
Excited to be here.
Awesome. I mean, we'll jump in. You're building one of the smoothest interfaces in DeFi, but before we kind of get into that, it'd be great to hear more about your own journey into Web3 and what that looks like. How did you end up as the CMO at DZap?
So I think my journey was kind of a usual. My BTech masters and then joined a Web2 company. I'm based out of India and I was more inclined towards marketing roles and always interested in how things work on a consumer behavior and the entire marketing domain. Then I worked for like around 7 to 8 years in the same domain, but with different organization ranging from established to startups and all those things. Then probably around 2020. 19 I got interested 18 19 I got interested in the web3 and the decentralization space, and starting with that I got into starting with investing the usual route, and then moving towards defi as a, what do you say, my go-to activity of each day, and then intrigued by how things work, and then eventually landed up at DZap. Now it's been around 3 years working with DZap and leading the marketing domain within the organization. And yeah, our vision is to make DeFi usable for everyone, no matter which chain, which asset they are holding on to, but it should be as plain and simple as things are in normal Web 2.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're really kind of making DeFi frictionless. So it's like bringing a lot of simplicity to what is still quite a complex space. Can you walk us through what you're building with DZap and kind of introduce listeners to what DZap is in a few kind of sentences?
Yes, sure. We have, grown and we have pivoted to broader themes. So we started with a very simple problem of doing multiple transactions in a single transaction, or you can say multiple swaps or bridges in a single transaction. So we started with that. Then we saw that, this is the problem that we have solved. Then we moved on to the efficiency part. Like, we always had faced the problem of getting the best output. You have multiple dexes giving different outputs for the same pair of tokens in terms of swapping or bridging. So that was always an inefficiency in the entire space. So then we moved on to building towards a meta aggregator where we have around 100 plus providers as we speak, and we ensure you get the best output always, and keeping the vision of batching the swap, so you can batch swap or batch bridge multiple tokens in a single transactions. Now, then another problem came that, okay, there are a lot of different ecosystems or chains. Then we started to go on to different chains and ecosystems which were kind of important for the users, and that's where the community demand of Rootstock also came into picture, and we went live on Rootstock as well. So, and the next, or the broader bigger vision that we are working on now is around the unified liquidity layer, or we call that as a zapping infrastructure, where irrespective of where your assets and liquidity is sitting, you can always move, manage, or add liquidity into any of the protocols in a single click. For example,
Okay.
you have some assets in your wallet or in any added into any protocol on DeFi. Now you want to earn a higher APR, and for that, what you do is probably move your liquidity. In a normal scenario, it is a very cumbersome process.
Yes.
You move your assets, you convert your assets, and entirely it's around 7, 8, or 10 steps at least if it is on the same chain to do that, and it's very inefficient. So that's where we
Yeah.
came into picture, and now what we have done is simplified the entire process. Just select your source tokens or assets. It can be on any protocol, any chain. Select your destination assets, any protocol, any change in a single swing, we will do that. The entire heavy lifting is done by DZap at the back end.
No, that's
So that's
great.
where we are progressing now. And again, next step is to work with newer DeFi protocols to leverage DZap and not build the same thing again and again, to simplify the entire processes in DeFi.
Yeah. And so obviously from kind of multi-chain tools, asset routing, you've already worked and are working with a lot of ecosystems, as you said. And you've hinted towards kind of community shout outs or community demand. But what made Rootstock worth adding to the mix? Was it kind of the Bitcoin side, the EVM support, or something else?
So yeah, like I said, it started with a community ask, and then we evaluated basis our internal parameters, like how much value we can add to the ecosystem and how much value we in turn can get from the ecosystem. And I think it aligned perfectly with our mission to abstract the complexity from the entire DeFi. And Rootstock was something bringing something unique, which was Bitcoin grade security on an EVM level, and obviously around some of the features like low fees and all those things also pitched in. And then we thought, I think it's definitely an ecosystem that we need to be on, and that's where the journey started with Rootstock.
Well, we're glad that we chose us to kind of expand your many networks. So obviously DZap is also on Rootstock Collective, the DAO that sits on top of Rootstock. What's your experience been like? Have you been able to engage with the community yet? How did you find the onboarding process?
Yes, it's quite interesting. And I think it's the community who drove us toward this and then helped us grow as well. The feedback has been awesome. And we have been receiving a lot of shout outs in terms of once we were live, people were sharing in their personal networks, helping us grow on Rootstock. And I think it's been a very collaborating community in terms of where people are generally looking for building and helping other projects to grow, starting from amplifying our announcement to intros to regular feedback, which helped us improve in our technical glitches, bugs, to reach at a state where we are right now. I think it has been a great journey.
That's great to hear. I'm glad it's been a smooth journey so far. And so for builders like you, anyone that's considering, launching a DApp, obviously the collective, we have various different stages of builders. So DZap, you're very established, but we have a grants program as well. And actually even other established builders that are considering integrating with Rootstock. You've done the hard work already. What would you say, any lessons that you've learned, any kind of advice you'd give for making the most of the ecosystem?
To start with, I think they should not think twice, because if you see from a project lens, what do you need? You need support from the ecosystem, you need support from the community. So I think these two things are genuinely there on Rootstock. You can just start with that. Our team is awesome. They support the entire Rootstock team. They help you grow in terms of co-marketing and whatever help you need. So I think it's a great ecosystem to be on, and definitely go forward.
Well, that's great to hear. Thank you very much. So, what's next for DZap? Obviously, there's a lot going on. You're really busy at the moment. So, it'd be great if you could give us a sneak peek of anything that's coming down the pipeline, whether it's new chains, even features, user experience. What should the community and listeners be watching out for?
So I think the broader vision I've already stated in the starting, but just let me go a little deeper into what we are focusing right now. We have already built the zapping infrastructure, which is powered by the meta aggregator. Now the focus is on helping the entire DeFi community, specifically for the builders. It's just a waste of energy of the ecosystem if they are building the same thing. So if we have aggregated something, or if we have built efficiently, so our vision is to help other projects use DZap to build on it. Now
Okay.
that's where we are going, because say for example, if you're building a DEX or a bridge or an aggregator, right, that's already existing with DZap. So you need not rebuild the entire chain. Or even if you are building a protocol that holds liquidity in terms of giving yields, etc. They're also to make the process more efficient. Instead of asking your users to do like 10 transactions or
Yeah.
approvals and the entire workflow, just integrate DZap and everything will be done in a single transaction. That's beneficial for both, actually, for the end user as well as the project, because it will ultimately help them increase their TVL seamlessly. So that's our vision. So we are focusing more on projects that need these kind of solutions. Obviously, we are live for the retail as well, but this is where our focus is on right now. And the good part is our SDKs and APIs are available, and they can just simply go and running in a day. I would
Wow.
say at the max. It's very straightforward, plug and play, and their go to market can be reduced drastically if they integrate these app in terms of the solution that we are providing. And the last focus is to increase our coverage in terms of non EVM. We are there on a couple of non EVM ecosystems, but we plan to increase this coverage so that our vision of making DeFi as a whole simpler place to be in. That will be dependence on how many ecosystems or chains we are live on. So that's where we are focusing at the moment.
That's great. And so, for any builders or any kind of projects that have a problem that DZap can solve, how should they reach out to you? How can they get in touch?
Yeah, so we're pretty active on Twitter and Discord and Telegram. So anywhere you can reach out to us. Our Twitter is dzap_io, and on Discord, if you go to our homepage, also we have all the links listed, which is dzap.io, our homepage. You'll find all the socials and all the links there. Just go and drop a note, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.
Perfect. And do you have any kind of closing notes? Anything else you want to share for any of our listeners today?
Just a shout out to the entire Rootstock community for
Thank you.
being so supported, for making us feel so supported there. And I think we have a long way to go.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we're very excited to be working with you even more. And for everyone listening, DZap are an active builder on the DAO. So if you want to support the team, you can go on, allocate some of your votes to back them and help them increase their builder rewards.
Sure.
Thanks
Definitely.
so much for joining me today. Again, I appreciate your time. And I'm really looking forward to catching up with you soon.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.